So here's my setup. I want to find this height, which represents the height of the mountain. Well, I know this length is 13. That's easy to measure your driving distance. You couldn't measure this distance very well, but you'd be at the center of your T. So temporarily, let's call this H. So I've got X's and I've got H's. Unknown length and unknown length. Well, from this right triangle, I can set up a SOHCAHTOA equation and say that the tangent of 9 degrees is opposite over hypotenuse. And if I knew how big X was, I could solve that for H, which I'm really interested in. But I don't. One equation, 2 unknowns, that's not going to be good enough. But I could also look at this big right triangle, and I could make an equation in it as well. And I could say the tangent of 3.5 degrees is opposite over adjacent. But what is the adjacent one?
It's X plus 13.
It's 13 plus whatever that is, right? Now, it's unfortunate that this still is going to take us several more steps, but it's doable now. I've got 2 unknowns, but I've got 2 variables. So all the way back to Algebra 1, you did elimination and addition method, whichever your teacher called it, substitution method and graphing method. In Algebra 2, you reviewed all those and also talked about matrices. But basically, I've got a system of equations that I need to solve. All right, so most methods don't really apply except for substitution. Substitution is the one that always works. So what I could do is I could take this equation and I could solve it for H. And H is X times the tangent of 9 degrees. And then I can substitute that into the other equation. So instead of saying H, I'm going to put X tangent of 9 degrees. And that's kind of messy, but why is this better than what I had? Right, so it's a mess, and it's going to take some algebra manipulation here. But at least I've got something that I can solve for X. So it might take me 2 more steps or 5 more steps. But if I can figure out X, I can then come back up here, times it by the tangent of 9, and I've got the height of the mountain. So to solve this, I would probably multiply both sides by 13 plus X, because I don't want to deal with fractions. And rewrite it. It's clear. Okay, I want to solve for X. I'm going to get X's on one side. And right now, this X is kind of stuck in these parentheses. Now, keep in mind that tangent of 35 is just a number. Now, it's a messy decimal, but it's a number. We can just distribute it. So 13 times the tangent of 3.5 degrees plus X times the tangent of 3.5 degrees is equal to X tangent of 9 degrees. So one thing you have to do for yourself is you have to get past how complicated it looks and how messy it looks. I multiplied both sides so I didn't have fractions, and I distributed. You're used to both of those things. Now I can subtract this away from both sides so that the X is isolated. The X is only... I'm going to rewrite it to make sure that's easy to read. Alright, so I did all that, so now I've at least got X's on the right side only. On X's on the left and the right. And this is the part that's kind of hard for people to see, but I promise you it's something that you did a lot of last year. How am I supposed to solve this for X? Well, now these are both messy decimals, but let's pretend like this was 5x and this is 3x. If it was 5x minus 3x, what would you do? Right. This isn't 5 and 3, so I can't just do that simple arithmetic in my head. what you can do is you can say this guy has an x and that guy has an x. So I will factor out an x at GCF. And now I'm getting kind of messy here, but I've cut it down to x times this number. So we undo times with divide. Just divide both sides by this. Since those are canceling, this is what x equals. Could you just say Parker and William? And where? Phase 3, first floor. Parker and William, you need to go to Phase 3, first floor office, please. Okay, so this was some length. I'm still wrapped up in the algebra here. All of this, my calculator can tell me what this is. It really just represents this length. After he drove 13 miles, how much more did he have to drive to the bottom of the mountain? I don't really care about that length. I cared about this length. So let's plug it in right here. The height of the mountain is x times the tangent of 9. So now, I'm finally ready for my calculator. X is this. Assuming I'm in degree mode. That's x times it by the tangent of 9, and I get the height of the mountain. The mountain is about 1.295 miles. So, I will take away from this, and I want you to see if you have specific questions. The only trick thing in here is setting up two SOHCAHTOA equations. Looking at the small right triangle, getting this equation, looking at the big right triangle, getting this equation. What was left after that was algebra. Solved it for x, substituted it, multiplied it so I can have fractions, distributed so x wasn't trapped in parentheses, subtracted it so x's were on one side together. Now this one, I agree, is not necessarily one that you would think of without prompting, but it's possible. These both have an x, so you can factor out the GCF. And then if you've got x times a number, you want to do it with divide. All of that to find x, which my calculator can tell me was about 8.178. I don't really care. I just care what x times the tangent of 9 was. And so my calculator can handle the arithmetic side of it. The other takeaway from this is I can tell you the same thing how it happens in calculus. Not that you're required to do the calculus steps, but we did the same thing in 0 hour today. I talked about why they set up something the way they do, and then it went from distributing and foiling and canceling out like terms and distributing negatives and distributing again and foiling again and combining out more like terms and factoring out a GCF. Those algebra steps are algebra steps that you have to get better at. And not just show that you can do this step when you're prompted, and then do that step when you're prompted, and do this step when you're prompted. That's a lot of what you do in algebra 2. You got to really understand those things and have a hope to see that attention. Okay. So I promise I'd stop here. And is there a step or two in there that you want me to go more in detail on? Get the override idea of the question. So that would be a great question too. So a lot of you didn't get to it last time, so it's good that if you copied it down and have it in your homework. I'd still recommend that you try it on your own, see where you get stuck, and then you can go back and see what I said, see what you do. Okay. Any others that you guys have